Okay, welcome back. In this episode, my goal is to go ahead and orbit Kerbin. I'll finally achieve that contract, and we'll start getting some more interesting contracts from then on, like going to the moon, etc. So, in order to do that, I'm probably going to need to upgrade this launch pad just so I can have a heavier vessel. Then, I am going to go into the VAB, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a new K1. We're going to call it K1 Bravo capsule. So the K1 Bravo capsule, basically, the reason why I'm renaming it is because I'm going to be doing something different with this one. Basically, I am just doing a capsule. There's not going to be any science on here because I don't have any science to gather right now. I have maxed out all the science I can get up there, and and the only science I really need to get is or are EVA reports around Kerbin. So that can be done without a science, without any goo or anything like that. So might as well reduce the size of it. Okay, and we got to put a parachute on here. We're good there. That's empty. And again, I put that tank on there just so uh, it puts the parachute farther away from the center of mass, and ensuring the center at the bottom of the capsule will be down on re-entry. So electrical, I don't really need. I am going to be up there for a little while. Can I put it in between here? Will that look funny? It kind of looks funny, but whatever. All right, so there's the K1B capsule. We're going to put. We're going to be facing this way, north south. So we're going to put. Actually, no, I'm going to put that on to the fuel tank side. Okay, so we got plenty of battery life. We're going to put some solar panels on the fuel tank side of our first stage, or our final stage, and that will help. That'll help keep us energized. So this guy right here, I like to put him on just because it looks cool when you have everything out. It doesn't look very aerodynamic though. I don't like it. I'm not going to deal with it. I don't need to do any crew reports, so I'm not even going to deal with it. So we have everything we need. Good, good. Okay, so we got to put in this right here, and we're going to save. So there's our K1B capsule. Beautiful. So I think we're going to be putting in our. We're going to be building our first actual rocket um, underneath the K1B capsule, and we'll call it. Geez, whatever. R1, Rocket 1. So now we're going to have two little saves here. That way we can bring the K1B R1 up very quickly. At least for grabbing the R1, putting it into the sub-assemblies. Eventually I'll delete that out once I do have it in there. So here we are here. This is going to be our final stage. This should get, using the Terrier engine, this should get us to orbit. I like that one for an orbital engine. All right, and then I will couple this in here. So now we have, this is about 565 meters per second there. I wonder if I get a little bit more change with a smaller tank. Nope. Okay. So I'm going to want those 500 meters per second. And then underneath here, I got to get back to the important part. We did gain enough science to unlock another node in that last mission. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to unlock these big solid fuel boosters. only because this is the final. Well, actually, I guess with the new KSP or the new version, there's more boosters, but this is the final stage of boosters that I'm used to. And we can strap this guy on here. And it's a rather large booster. Has plenty of thrust, way more than we need right here. We're about 281 tons. Geez. 290 would be 50%. So if we do 50%, we should be good. I'm going to do 55 just to give myself a little bit of a buffer there. Okay, so if you're curious how I'm doing that, so you have a mass right here in metric tons. So basically what I am doing is I'm calculating the metric newtons, or I guess it would be kilonewtons of force, gravitational force that you need to overcome in order to get this thing to fly. So just a quick quick calculations, multiplied by 10, 281 kilotons. Over here, this is a thrust at sea level. Right here is 593 kilotons, and well, 280 kilotons times 2 would be 560. So I already know that 50% would overcome this. I put up 55, only 50% of this thrust would overcome this weight. I put up to 55 only so I could ensure that I get through the maximum pressure. See, if I decrease this, it's not really calculating. Maybe it's because I'm in this. So let's say I guess there's a same amount of delta V anytime. So I'll do 53%. There we go. Try to increase my efficiency. If you have it too high, then basically you create a lot of force in the atmosphere. Create a lot of atmospheric forces when you're trying to get out, and it actually creates more friction, and it actually increases the amount of fuel you spend to get out of the atmosphere. So by making sure you keep that pressure down, you ensure that you get through that thick part of the atmosphere before your G's start increasing. Basically, as this rocket gets lighter, your G's are going to increase because the thrust isn't going to change, but your weight is going to decrease. Okay, so that was a quick little synopsis, I guess. We're going to save this. And if this works, I am going to save it to a subassembly down here and get rid of that save file. So there's that. Save again. And we're going to launch. I don't think... Yeah, it doesn't really matter which pilot it is. We're all equal in experience right now. So we're going to try to get Jebediah out to orbit right now, which shouldn't take too long with this rocket. There's definitely enough thrust on this booster and enough fuel to keep us going. Oh crap, my stages got all screwed up. So that's going to be there. Okay, and I'm going to just swap these. Alright, so we're all good. Now, I'm still here, which is good. That means I have a lot of daylight in my orbital maneuvers here. Oh, I forgot to put solar panels on. That's okay. I'm not really going to need it. Alright, so we're going to have liftoff in 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. And you can see there I'm very close to 1. You want to be just over 1 in your G's. See, this is rapidly rising. I'm at about probably 1.05. You want to be about 1.1, 1.2 to maximize your efficiency. So I probably should have gone with the 55%. Should have gone with my gut instead of second guessing myself. About 1.1, 1.2 is the most efficient way you can go up. It's just enough to keep climbing, at least until you get through the thick part of the atmosphere, which is marked up here with these two lighter shades of blue. This is the really thick part, and this is not as thick, but you'll see about 10,000 meters we'll start crossing over. and that means that atmospheric effects are going to decrease quite a bit, but you can still flip the jet or flip the rocket if you turn too quickly, too hard. Okay, so we're starting to climb up nicely. I'm going to go to the map view, make sure my apoapsis is staying pretty far in front of me, which it is. And you can see here the G's are starting to raise, so we're getting through the thick part, and we're hitting 2 G's. If we were going 2 G's in the beginning, we would have started creating atmospheric effects. You start to see the little, I guess you call them sound waves or whatever it is. You start to see the little flares pop off of your nose and everything else because you're moving so fast. So I'm going to start my turn here. It's really okay. We're high enough now where I don't have to worry about flipping it. The only problem is this capsule doesn't have enough SAS oomph behind it to really turn the vessel efficiently. So we're pretty much just going to rock this this booster up as high as we can go here. Ideally, I would have wanted to use some of this booster delta V in the horizontal direction, but I think we should be okay. So I'm going to decouple. Now, a lot of people like to wait till they get to the top of their arc to start burning. I don't like it. You know, I can already start burning in the horizontal direction and increasing my orbital speed. See, now I'm not decreasing, and I didn't waste all that momentum. And the idea is that you want to float up to your apoapsis. You don't want the apoapsis to get too far in front of you. You want to just continue burning. I wish I was in times 2. I forgot to grab that. You just want to continue burning and increasing your horizontal velocity as you get up to your apoapsis. And you want to keep the apoapsis as close as you can as you possibly can. If I had liquid fuel all the way up, I would have been able to keep the apoapsis really close, and I would have been able to follow it up to my peak and then hold it where I am as I circularize the orbit. And you will see that in later missions. I'll explain how to do that. I wish I grabbed hold of the times 2 before I left the atmosphere. Oh well. So we're just floating on up. I'm getting closer to the apoapsis, and that's when I'll do my max burn. I still have plenty of delta V. It looks like about 1,800 meters per second, which is more than enough. I need about another 1,000, or I guess 1,300, in order to circularize here. And I'm starting to increase now, so you'll start to increase as you get closer to the apoapsis. No matter what, your horizontal speed decreases as you go up. So yeah, we're starting to increase pretty good. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more throttle. Later on, we'll be able to have a little time counter. It counts down to how far away to when we cross the apoapsis. Makes it a lot easier because you can use that time to determine when to throttle up and where to pitch. But you can also do it visually. Yeah, I'm about, looks like 1,100, and I have 1,500 meters per second in the tank. And looks like I'm increasing my orbital speed faster than I'm losing my delta V right now, only because of my positioning. So things are looking good. We're definitely gonna circularize. And then we'll fly around. Oh, and here's another little thing. So if the apoapsis gets too close to you, you nose up. If you can't throttle up, you nose up to push it forward, and you nose down to pull it back. So right there, I have a nice balance. So now I'm gonna pull it back a little bit, and now I'm already low enough. So I'm gonna start throttling down in order to keep that apoapsis in front of me, while I wait for the periapsis to show up on the other side of the planet. There it is. And I'm looking for 143. And then I can nose down a lot more to keep that apoapsis closer to me. You see my throttle is very low for a lot of that. I still have about 470 meters per second. That's definitely enough to get me home. So we will start doing our EVAs. So first EVA, over the waters. Boom. Now we have to fast forward over here. I want to try to catch the shores. So there's shores and grasslands there, and it's a matter of just catching it. Oh, I got the grasslands, so now I gotta go in and come back out. I might have missed it. I'll probably be over the water because that sliver of land was so... There it is. I grabbed the shores. Okay. So now the next one looks like right about here. There should be some highlands for me to grab hold of. I probably should have waited to more midday. That way I could see the desert. But it looks like I got a good idea. I know there's some mountains over here, but I can get some mountains over the KSC as well. I can actually have a visual on it so I can see myself go over them. So I'm over the desert right now. I might be over highlands, but there's the deserts. So we're gonna hit the mountains over KSC. See how I cross them right there. Then we'll probably orbit around to the apoapsis and start burning back home. Okay, see if I can grab hold of these mountains. Got them. Alright, so there's nothing else I can really get unless I start trying to tilt my orbit, which I'm not really interested in right now. I got plenty of science. I mean, each one of these EVA reports are what? 8 science? And I think I got 4 or 5 of them. Okay, so we are going to swing around over to our apoapsis. Then we are going to start burning home in the retrograde position. Now, trying to come in and aim your way to the KSC is kind of a tricky deal. I'm not very good at it. I'm going to give it a try here. I have plenty of fuel to really burn off, so I have a little bit more of an easy time. 400 meters per second is quite a bit of delta V coming into the atmosphere. But really, the whole idea is you want to approach, I think it's what, like 30 degrees or so. I'm a little over that right now. I'm closer to 70 degrees. But really is you want to just approach in there and let the atmosphere take care of most of your work. I'm not going below 60, so I shouldn't light up on fire. Either way, I'll get in the retrograde position just to be safe. And then once I hit my periapsis, I'm going to burn again. And that should push my periapsis forward over the KSC. And that's really way past the KSC. And that's really what we want to do. So I'm going to start burning now. There it goes. You can see it's rapidly decreasing now. Obviously, I'm on a trajectory home. I'm going to burn it in. Turn, pop. I like to orientate this so the blue is up. That way I have the sky above me and it's all normal operation. Alright, I'm going to sit here. I should be able to take SAS off. It should be able to orientate itself in the atmosphere, which is why I made sure I had the weight as low as I could down there. So we're flying through. We're gonna overshoot the KSC by quite a bit, but we're coming in pretty good. We're not gonna overshoot by much. And here we go. So yeah, we orbited. We're coming in for landing. It's gonna be a successful landing, and we got plenty of science. So I'm just gonna cut it off there, and I'll see you guys on the next one. We'll probably end up going to the moon. I'm not really sure. The contracts will dictate where we're going to go from here on out. But we do have everything we need to start making probes and satellites, which is where the money is. We can start racking up some funds so we can do some pretty big and cool missions later on. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching this episode, and I'll see you on the next one.